prime my life. Hail, hail. Salutation to our parents, self, prime my life. Hail, hail. Salutation to ourselves supreme, prime my life. Salutation to the sun. Hail, light in the world for all to see. Holding the balance in duality. Prime my life, your consciousness be. Hail, hail to the self supreme, the neutral self. Prime my life. One and only unicorn, warrior for the cause, allowing the world just because all is one in myriads of form. Hail, 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 hail. Salutation to the self supreme. Hail, hail to the neutral self. Prime my life. Hail, hail to the world's heart. Holding the balance game. On the battlefield in a dual fate. Fighting for the lost soul to be free. Oh, primal like Mother Supreme. Oh, primal like Mother Supreme. Win the victory. Victory. Win the victory. Victory. Win the victory. All souls are free. All selves are free. Victory, victory, victory. The world is balance, the world is harmony. Victory, victory. Hail, hail. Salutation to ourselves supreme, neutral self, prime my life. Hail to ourselves supreme, supreme sun, art and raw, the atom. Hail, hail to the supreme sun. If you close your eyes, the world goes into dark. Open your eyes, awake from the sleep. Awake to stop the dream. Recreate the world, give it a new start. None new world, none new beings, none new pure consciousness. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme, win the victory. Victory. Recreate the world, give it a new start. None new world, none new beings, none new pure consciousness. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme, win the victory. The world is balance, the world is harmony. Victory. I self is balance, I self is harmony. Victory. Victory. Self-unity. All selves are free. Victory. All is I, and it's only I. Victory. Victory. Hail, hail to the I, self-supreme, not be one true self on manifest stillness. All is I and I alone exist. All is I exist alone. Victory, 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 victory.
Yes. Victory, victory, victory. Hail, hail. All the ionize. Victory, victory, victory. Much honor. I hope that. Let me look at the thing here. My voice is loud and clear. Because, sometimes I have audio problems. Welcome, welcome to Satsang with I Aset, Mahat, Art and Ra. Welcome, welcome, and thank you for joining I. This is the gathering to seek truth. So today I am going to be focusing on the I real home. Because the I and I have forgotten the I self playing this dream character. And so everybody wants to stay here into this dream. You do not belong here. This is not your real home. And so the I must seek. Why don't you want to ask any questions? So the I and I must seek. Where is your real home? You're a visitor here. I and I is a visitor here. What have the I and I learned? What will be written in the halls of records when the I is looking back on the I journey? We need to start focusing on these questions because the time draweth near. It is time of remembrance, right? Who am I really? Where is my real home, my true home, right? So this is what the I need to be asking these questions, right? So the I can have the answer, and the I can have the experience of the real, because it is time for us to wrap up this duality so we can move on to the next step. Why you want to stay in kindergarten? You want to be 40 years and still in kindergarten? Come on. It's time now for evolution of the I consciousness, because it is the consciousness that is in ignorance and is obscuring the self. All right. So let's give honor and reverence to the I One True Pure Self, for all the I and I's in alignment to restore balance to high. So hail, hail to all the I and I's in alignment to restore balance to I. So I want to give honor and reverence to the I One True Pure Self. Primal light, I self supreme. I am that I am. I one true pure self. Hail, hail to all the I and I in alignment to restore balance to I. I want to say honor and reverence to the I masculine self, Shiva, Heru, victory, victory to the I and I. Working tirelessly to dissolving all the I egoic nature. Hail, hail, I want to give honor and reverence to another one of the I masculine self because it's very rare. I want I and I to know this. The masculine selves, majority of them have always been in the dual nature, in the egoic state. And I want to honor and give reverence to the I that choose to liberate the I self, Shiva Shambho. Hail, hail to the I, Shiva Shambho. Victory, victory to the I, working tirelessly to dissolve all the I egoic nature, to restore balance and harmony to the I and I. Victory, victory to all the I's. Yes. Hail, hail to the I, the primordial light. Hail, hail to all the I and I's in alignment to restore balance I. All the I and I pure and true self. The I that has no name, the I that cannot be explained. Victory, victory. All the I and I's. Hail, hail to the primal light, the beginning without beginning and without ending. Victory, 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 victory. I return to I ultimate true state. I return to I ultimate true state. Victory, victory, victory. Victory, victory, victory. Much honor, much reverence. Victory, victory. Thank you for joining I want to say, no more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. All things hidden will be made known. Please be looking out. Be on the lookout for all things that have been hidden that is being made known. All secrets that are being revealed. Be on the lookout. Because all things done in secret will be revealed. All things created must be destroyed. This is the age of truth, and it's time for self-responsible authority. Resist temptations and be vigilant. No fear. Let me say that again. No fear. Self-triumphant over ego. Good triumphant over evil. And self-truth triumphant over ignorance. And the real triumphant over the dream. Victory, 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 victory. All is myself, and I alone exist. It is I playing all these roles. This says the I one true pure self. I bow to all the I and I's in self, in light, and in truth. Victory, victory. Thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for joining for clicking this video. Much honor. So, let's look at this question, right? Who do you think you are? I am asking this question. It's a question to ask yourself, right? So you're going to turn the question. You have a thought about who you think you are, and that which you think that you are not, right? Someone's are thinking that they are the mind. Someone's are thinking that they are this body. They are white, they are brown, they are black, they are yellow, they are, all of these um, shades of different, things, and so we have to go deeper, right? Also, you have to ask these questions until you know the answers, right? What is the difference being self-knowing, right, versus being self-obscure? Because what many ones don't understand is that the way that we exist right now, we're in this avatar animating this body, the self is being obscure. This is the reason why we have so much confusion, because we do not know ourselves. So when you are self-knowing, like I am being right now self-knowing, but prior to this, I was also being self-obscure. Myself was being obscure. I did not know myself. I was very confused about who I am. How did I come into being? What is the source of my existence? My lineage? I did not know any of these things, right? I was in complete ignorance. And so I asked, this is what I did. I sat, I inquired, I wrote out all these questions. I had curiosity and I wanted to know. I wanted to know the truth, right? So ask these questions. Never stop asking questions until you have an experience of yourself. Remember that in this imagination construct, we are um, having a lot of experience with the dual nature and not with the real self, right? And this is one of the problems, and we are taking the dream and the dream experience for the real, like so many ones. They are, they say they are channeling, and they're doing all of these things. When you're channeling, you can never channel your real self, because you have to know yourself. Wherein yourself have to yourself have to be in the body, come in awareness, come awake. This have to be the experience. You cannot say, oh, I want to connect with this being, I want to connect with the consciousness, and you're channeling, right? This is not the way to know yourself. You are only knowing the dream, right? Because every aspect of what this realm that we are in is a dream. So when you are going into the dream to get to know the dream, you're just knowing the dream. You're not getting to know your real self, right? And so you have to come to self-knowing and not knowing about the consciousness and the ego, and all of these egoic characters that always want something, always want you to sign contracts with them, all right? So how do I exist invisible and visible? Because human beings have a problem. They think they exist here alone. You cannot see yourself that is being invisible to this avatar, right? Because you're in the sleeping dreaming state, so you're not in awareness of any of the other one of the I selves. But for many ones who have encountered many of the I selves in all of these different aspects of the self, and they can make themselves visible to you, right? Many selves that have been here, but guess what? They had to make themselves invisible because the evil ways of human beings, they want to capture everything, especially scientists. If you have one little skill, they right away the government coming to capture you, to study you, and to to mind control you and to do all these things with you. So this is what they have been doing. They have bunkers underneath the ground where they're doing this. Every time they come upon a creature that is different, they do horrible things. They make horrible creations, you know. And so we do not exist and in harmony and in balance with all of the I selves, visible and invisible, right? So we have a lot of invisible selves that are moving around, and so many ones, they call them the gods, they call them deities, they call them angels, they call them aliens, all of these names. But all of this is the I self are existing here. Do you know how many different kind of being exist here? Many different beings exist in here with us, right? And you cannot see depending on your development, because remember, you have a veil over your eyes and you can only see a certain spectrum of light, because remember, everything here is about light. Everything that the body is producing light, everything is geared for producing light. So the whole idea of the puzzle is for consciousness to figure out every creation that it is creating. It have to figure out how to make light. All right. And so this is what's happening. This is what's happening right now with all of the creation here, because we cannot live and exist and see. Look at all the different cultures, the different nations of human beings, and some are going about spreading propagandas, that they are superior over other culture. Why? Because we have a problem, right? And so they enslave others, they do all these evil things. So we have so many different aspects of the I self, visible and invisible, and it's always one have to be dominating, wanting to dominate over another, and we cannot live here in harmony, right? We see through the lens of the ego and not through the lens of the I self, right? Is the I seeing things as they are? This is how we have to move right now. The way that we have been seeing, it's only through the ego. And now we have to see with balance, right? We have to see through the eyes of the self, because we've only been seeing through the eye of the ego, and the self is being obscure. All right. So in the some of the invisible self, all right, we have the duality consciousness, the magnetic beings, right? So that's invisible. We have the existence that we are in, all right. It is also invisible to this avatar, to us, right? Unless you are able to remove the veil from your eyes and pierce through, you'll be able to see the existence, right? Now we have our government and the scientists, they have created tools that they can see all the different spectrums of the light that are we existing. So they can monitor and what do you call it? What's the word? Detect the, because the I self, the I parent self, the real, they are creating devices. They want to detect the I self, but the I self deludes them, because the I want you pure self is at an energy that they have no tools to detect, right? So they can't capture the self, and like how they want to do, capture the selves. They want to capture the selves so that they can harness and get power and have, all of these crazy. This is the craziness of, human beings, why we and the gods, why we can't live and exist with everyone, in harmony and balance. And we have to move to this state, right? So here, how we are existing in the visible ourself. Remember that? all is myself and I alone exist. So all the what they're calling aliens, what they're calling the gods, it is the I existing in those forms, right? So we have the non-dual consciousness beings, all right, like Shiva, Heru, like um Shiva, Shambho, and of course they're invisible to you, but of course they can make themselves um they're invisible to you, so they can make themselves visible, and pretty soon, when it's the right time, I'll be able to share that to share that with ones when the I wants to make themselves visible to you. All right, the I mother self, who is the screen of the existence, is invisible to the I, because the I has been in the womb of the I mother self, and so it is still the I self. All right, so we don't see these selves of ours, but we can if we come into self knowing, if we give up our ego, because the ego tricks us. We cannot hold on to the ego and ourself at the same time. We have to give up the ego. You see, in those Bible stories, the things they say, you know Shiva, Heru said, and they give this credit to this character called Jesus, but it was really what Shiva, Heru said. Not just Shiva, Heru, but there was ones who came before him, Shiva, Shambho, right? As the Buddha, the first Buddha, and so they left all these teachings, for us, so that we can know this, that we cannot hold on to the ego and ourself at the same time. We have to let go of the ego, and this is what the ego tricks us to say, that, oh, you have to hold on to me. So this is how you're going to get to um be in oneness with yourself, the invisible, where you get to experience, not just connecting to the duality, the invisible, because remember, you have duality invisible and you have non-duality that is invisible also, and but you are only connecting to the duality that's invisible, right? You have to connect to the non-duality that is invisible, which is the I self, the I mother self, all the I real selves, and the I real self called the soul, which is also invisible. Um, but you can see that when you're on a different spectrum of light, you are able to see the soul self, because this is why everyone wants it. This is, so because it is the real self in the dream, and everybody is fighting to how many souls they can harness and harvest. All right, and so let's look at the visible, right? As above, so below, right? We have the moon above, right? It is visible, but guess what? The moon is visible of the dual the dual the duality consciousness. This is how it manifests, so we can see it. All right, and so we have the non-dual consciousness also manifesting. um I can't, I don't know the name of, what science call it, but it is also in the existence. All right, and it's also the screen on which the world is being played. I don't know this for certain, but this is just my thought, and I haven't asked the I self. I'm thinking that what's happening, how we are seeing when we look up, is it's a screen, and so what the self is doing with the self it's like it's like a hologram. So the self is making a projection, so we can watch the screen of all of the existence, like everything that's happening with all of the selves. We can watch the screen of it, but I haven't asked the self, but this just came to me just now clearly. So but this is just my thinking. So I haven't researched it into the self and ask, so and to have a confirmation or not. So I am going to do that, and then I'll see if I am correct or not. But this is just my thinking that everything is being projected on the screen, and this is how we can everything, because everything is happening but we cannot see it happening. But if we are watching the screen and watching the skies, like the scientists, they have a lot of tools that they are observing, and so you're able to see everything happening all at once in the screen. You know what I'm saying? So there is no time, so everything is happening all at once. It's like it's like you're there's a big tree, and you have the trunk, and you have the top of the tree to climb the branches and go up. But it's more of how the distance of how it takes you from climbing the bottom to get to the top. So it's like where from what level that we're looking at something from, so how we can see it, and be able to see the whole thing happening and flowing. So that's my thinking on that, but I haven't consult with the eye self to know if it's true or not. But and so what's the visible? So we have the void, the baby manifest, right? So we can look out into the existence and we can see this blackness, right? That is the void manifest, right? We can see the blackness, right? That is the void manifest that we are seeing. It is an existence, just like how we are in the dark matter here, but because the sun is shining at wherever the tilt of the angle of the sun goes over the earth, and depending on the angle that how we are getting reflection of the light, right? When we in the darkness, right, you can see that we are in the darkness, right? Yeah, so we are in the dark matter. That's the dark matter. But because when we have the light this from the sun illuminating the darkness for us, right? And so we call that, this is how we make day and night, and we get time and all of these things, right? So these are the visible, right? So if you learn to see like in the dark, you can be able to identify lots of things, right? So we have the stars above, right? We have the stars above. That's visible, right? But what's the invisible to the stars is the soul self. The soul self is the invisible that we do not see. But when we look up and we see the stars reflecting, right? So as above, so below. So all of these things that we are seeing reflecting, everything that is above is also below, right? So it's a reflection in all of these forms. So the soul is here with us, and guess what? Above, it is a star because it has its light on. So what we call a star is the light of the soul, right? And everything here have a light, and um what's happening is that all of these gods and everybody wanted to and the human beings wanted to break the dome so that they can get out, thinking that they're going to get the light. But my thinking is that none of them cannot get the light because the light is not there. I This is just my, like I said, my thinking is that the self is projecting the screen, the movie is projecting the screen, and we are seeing all the movie and we are seeing these things. But no one can get the light, because once you go out of this first dimension, you get into the second dimension, there's still no stars there. You see what I'm saying? There's still no stars there because we have to go every level of the dimension. We have to exit this one, go into the next one, exit that one, go into the next one. And each of the existence is also a duality. And it's they all have to come awake, because if otherwise from that, they would have all been stealing the lights. All right. And so this is one of the reason why I think that it is not so. It is not how the science are telling us that up up there looks. I don't believe it, because when I'm thinking about the souls, and I'm thinking about the lights, and they want to get to the lights, because all the gods, they want to get the light. um and so this is one of the reason why it is each of the realm is blocked off. Like this one is blocked off, and the next realm, you can only go in it in your in your, of course, in your spirit form. In your spirit form, in your soul form, you can exit out, but you cannot exit out in the body. And the human beings, that's what they want to do, but it's all encased into this dome. And I am just strongly thinking that it is just the eye self projecting. But later on, I'm gonna ask the self, because I can ask the self right now, but the consciousness is always trying to deceive me. So I have to sit in stillness and to make sure the answer is coming correctly, because it will try to say yes or no, and get me confused. So I have to, be at the stillness, just, by myself. Then I am going to inquire into this. But I strongly, I'm thinking about that. All right. So the stars up there, the souls are here with us, and everybody wants to get to the star. They want to get the light, and none of them can get it. This is the puzzle that they have not figured out. This is the reason why everyone steals the soul and imprison them, because the soul is directly connecting to its light, that everyone is trying to get those light, and they cannot get them, because the reason being that it is a projection from the eye self, projecting on the screen. Yeah. And so right now, the I mother self is now gathering all her babies, the soul self. All right. And so it's just us, the baby of the soul seed that is now animating the body, that now must come into self-knowing, and so that we can know where our true home is, right? And so here now we have the baby selves, or the spirit, which you're animating the body, but you're invisible to this character. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have experienced myself, which I am going to share, when I was in the spirit self, and before I dissolve that self, and just be the soul self, which I am right now. you know you have to stand up to the ego to do this, and I am going to explain that at the later. And so then, how is it visible? How is the spirit visible? You see those rocks? They have a lot of rocks. The scientists, they will tell you there are many rocks flying about, and many are hidden. Lots of little moons, they are hidden up there, because as above, so below. So because those spirit self are sleeping, they become moons, or they become rocks, right? And so this is why when you wake up, then that rock get dissolved. All right, then you get aligned with your soul self, and you connect back with your light. All right. So these are the spirit self that is animating the human avatar. So all right. So, what are the different beings, right? Because we having a problem with human beings thinking that they exist into this realm by themselves and they need to oppress and enslave any other creature that they see that looks different from them. Yeah. And so there's water creatures, they're hiding from us deep, deep on the sea. They're hiding. We used to be friends with all the creatures, you know, they call mermaids and all different kinds. But no, the human beings are just horrible. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to live in balance because what they forgetting that they was they exist inside of the water. You see how we seeing the I self, the mother self, the screen in the visible. What we're seeing the ocean, right, which is a reflection of the self that is the ocean. We are inside. All of this existence is in the water. Everything is rising from the water, and around it is surrounded by water. All right. And in the air, we have water that is gas, right? And we have the water liquid. And on the other side, we have the water that is solid, right? So this is how we are existing, right? In all of these forms. Know that the water is the I self that is into that liquid form. All right? How is the I and I animating bodies, right? The I is in the fractal state, right? In the fragmented state, right? All the human beings and the gods, they are in the fractal states, right? Because their masculine and feminine are separated. Are the gods self-knowing? No, they do not know themselves because they are in a sleeping, dreaming state. Are the angels self-knowing? No. How about the real selves, the soul selves? Yes, they are self knowing. How about the void, the blackness? Yes. So even though you see the void, the blackness, it is self knowing, it is an intelligent self. In this is in the form. We have to remember that we are formless and we are energy, we are primal light, and we are not this human being. So this is the problem, that human being think that, oh, this is the ultimate, them being a human being, and they know everything, that they are going to fight a war with their self in all of these forms. They're fighting a war with the I self, the ignorance, right? So the gods are they're masculine, the goddesses are feminine, the angels are also in the masculine state. The real selves, we have real selves in both masculine and feminine, and we have and so the dual consciousness, are the gods wearing it? Yes. Are the angels wearing the dual consciousness? Yes. Are the real selves wearing it? No, they're not wearing the duality consciousness that the gods are wearing. The real selves are not wearing it. Is the void, the blackness, wearing the duality consciousness? No. The manifest self? No. But its dual nature is. Right? It makes a self-replica. The void also makes a self-replica, and its self-replica wears the duality consciousness, but not the real selves. All right, human beings. Are human beings self-knowing? No. Right? Are they wearing this duality consciousness? Yes. All right, the water, all of creation, it is not self-knowing, and they're all in the duality consciousness. So there are things being created with the consciousness, all right, and like the animals, the trees, all aspect of the I in these expressions, right? Because the I want to know how all of these things work, all right. They also having the duality. So this is why all of the creation, you can see how animals can know your thoughts, because we are wearing the same duality mind, the same consciousness that the 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 trees are made with, the same consciousness the animal is being created with, the same consciousness that creates the existence is creating all of these things. everything in here is being created with this duality consciousness. And this is why that we can connect and communicate with all of the existence animals, because they understand our thoughts, they're reading our thoughts. All right, so how do the I cultivate the I mind? How to live in harmony with the I and I in all of these creations? This is the big question. How can we live in harmony and not be selfish, not wanting to imprison all of the I selves? All right, if you get up tomorrow morning and you go to the ocean and you see a mermaid, right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna call the scientists and they're gonna come now capture it and put it in their laboratory and be horrible to the I in that expression. We cannot live and honor and respect all beings. And this is how we have to move to this now, because we are gonna move back to how we were before, when we were existing with all of these creations and everything can show themselves. We don't have to be afraid of all ourselves in all of these expressions, and we can be in oneness with all of ourselves, so we are not trying to oppress our other selves. And no government, we're getting rid of governments, because we're moving for self-governing. We're governing ourselves, self-responsibility, and for a self-illumination, right? So self-sufficiency, this is where each self must be sufficient on its own. This is where we're moving to. So do we need someone to govern over us? No, because I am calling for a dissolution of all governments. Yeah, because we must move to self-sufficiency. We must move to be in alignment so we can trust ourselves to be harmonizing with all of our other selves without violating the sovereign rights of other beings. What this government and these scientists are doing is wrong, and we have to call them out. This ego wants us to have unconditional love for ones who are oppressing and hating us, and for us not to stand up and fight for our liberation. But I am not here to preach unconditional love for these egos. Yeah, I am on a mission to dissolve my ego. I am not here to love or befriend my ego. Yes, I have been in prison and I want my liberation. And this ego will not give you your liberation. You have to stand up and claim it. Yes. So I know they have been spreading these things about unconditional love of the ego, but that's not true. That's not in my experience. You take responsibility and you correct the wrong that you have done. All right. So we're gonna move to talking about primal light, because this is the problem why we are having a world like this. We in this existence and we look up and we see all of these lights and all of these things, but the problem is that the ionize are exploring and you are not being self-luminous. Your light is being obscure, right? Whose light is being obscure? It's about light, because we are in this fractal state. We are primal light. Yeah, we are primal light, and here we are. We don't even know that we are light being. We don't even know that we are producing light. This body is producing light. Every one of our cells is producing light. They know this. You go to school and they do not teach you any true knowledge. School must be abolished. Is it abolished? Abolished. Yeah, that's the right word. School must be abolished, right? They are just here to program your mind to not think, to not know truth, and to not seek any true knowledge. Yes, so I am here to change all of this. That we must have true knowledge, and um, knowledge must be available for anyone seeking to know truth. Now is the age when no more secrets, no more lies. So back in time, they would hide a lot of the secret of things, and they only will give evil things away for people doing evil. You see how evil is prominent and people are doing this. But things that can help you to make your life better, they're charging you how much money to teach you and show it to you, right? They give you a Bible for free. They give you a Quran for free. Anything that controls your mind, they give it to you for free. But the things, anything else, that you don't get it for free. You have to pay a lot of money to even get to it. So this is what they are doing right now, and so we want to change that. All right, that knowledge must be for all the ionized. Yeah, and so ask yourself this question: am I self-sufficient? Because first we have to move to community self-sufficiency, and everything each community needs must be provided for in that community. The way that the world is run now, it is not run on self-sufficiency. And this is the problem, that one wants to, like, I'm gonna give you an example. Say say Africa or even Jamaica, because I was cultivated there, so I know. um Say that we're growing something in Jamaica, yams or coconut or many things. All right, what the US will do, they say, we want all of this good food that you have here. So, and it's grown natural, and you have to ship it to them, right? Because they want all the good stuff, the mangoes, the everything good, they want it. And guess what they do? They plant some corn that they put poisonous corn, all kind of stuff in it, and they bring it to every country, and they want you to buy it from them. Nobody wants those corn, because people can plant corn. Jamaica don't need your corn. Mexico don't need your corn. Africa don't need your corn. No, why don't you plant something good here for your people in your community? Why you want to plant corn to sell to Africa when Africa don't need your corn? Jamaica don't need your corn. Mexico don't need your corn. Because I know when I was traveling to Mexico, this was a big problem. The US wanted Mexico to take their corn when Mexico is growing their corn naturally. They have blue corn, they have all these natural good corn that they're using, make their tortillas and all these things. And America wants them to take their GMO corn that they are making, because they want to get the good corn Mexico have to give to them, and they ship. Does that make any sense? It makes no sense at all. So, not being self-sufficient in food, stay in your community, build up your community, be self-sufficient. We're also gonna move to self-sufficiency with ourselves. Like we're here now. Everyone is looking for a man, is looking for a woman, and a woman is looking for a man. They're looking for food, they're looking for water, they're looking for love, they're looking for all of these things that people are looking for outside of themselves, that they feel they cannot be self-sufficient about. So pretty soon, those are the desires of the ego, the desires of the body. But when we in alignment now, we become primal lights, then we're going to become self-sufficient, right? We're going to produce the light that we need for ourselves, because the whole aspect of this body is to produce light, right? It's to produce light. Are you producing your own light? Right? And so the body is producing light, the cells are producing light. We also, as the self, has to produce our own light, right? So we can be self-sufficient. And so this is where we're moving towards. Being light, right? Say, I am primal light. Come on, everybody have to come into this knowing and this realization that they are light. Right now, you are existing as an electromagnetic being, right? And all of these things, I don't know why they want to keep everything a secret. This government is crazy. These schools are crazy. Yeah, no one should go to their schools anymore. They're just like, okay, I want to learn this trade. I want to people gathering together. Let's study and gather together and do studying, reading and studying and inquiring. You know what I'm saying? Because school is crazy. It makes you dumb, it makes you stupid, and it don't makes you ask any question. Because it was through questioning and seeing how the world was crazy, that's how I came into my true answers, you know? And so remember that the mind is all of creation and their complexities, right? So this is a question that I should ask. Is the dual mind just figuring out how to create light, right? So I ask this question and the self says yes to me. Yes. The duality mind, it doesn't have any light, the consciousness, and it is seeking light. So everything that it creates, it has to figure out, how can I create this thing that it must have light. Everything that, if you look at a plant, the energy that it creates is light. Everything have a light beaming, a light spectrum or energy field that beams off of it. So everything must be producing light. So this is a puzzle that the duality consciousness have to figure out when it is creating something. That it cannot just exist in the darkness. It has to be able to balance light. It has to be able to have some way of creating light, right? And so because the consciousness has no light, therefore everything that it creates is not self-sufficient. And so now we have to move for self-sufficiency, that when we are creating stuff, when we come into more self-awareness, we can create things of balance. So all of consciousness creation is always seeking light. You don't know how important light is. All right. So when ones are focusing on talking about the reason why the world is like it is because of unconditional love, they don't have love. This is not the truth. This is not true. The reason the world is the way it is because the light is being obscure. Many ones don't have light. Light is very essential for the eye, for balance, for the eye to see. If you don't have light, you can't see. You stumble in darkness, right? And as you can see, the human beings, they too are on a constant search to create light, right? You see, human beings want to create light continuously, all right? But they don't want you to know this, right? The scientists, their deception is to enslave the souls. You know, they're in cahoots with the gods, you know? Remember their self that's playing the gods, they're in cahoots with them to enslave the soul, also to enslave the spirit, because they know how to do this. They have the device to detect the spirit. And what they have been doing when you're coming out of the body, they trap the spirit. Yeah, and this is how many of them, they know how to, when they're exiting the body, they can just go right into a next body. So they have mastered how to do these things, these human beings, how to move, come out. When this body can't hold them anymore, they move out of that body, going to another body. They trap the spirits and doing a lot of crazy things, right? And they don't have any light, and so this is why they want to enslave the soul so that they can have continuous light. Why are we not self-sufficient? All right. Why do we seek things outside of ourselves? Why don't we seek to be self-sufficient? All of those ignorant human beings, why don't they seek to say, okay, how can I turn my own light on instead of stealing and deceiving others? How can I illuminate myself? But no, they're busy trying to steal light and trying to deceive others, because their mind, the consciousness is doing the same thing, right? The consciousness is always trying to figure out how to get light. And our mind is seeking the things inside of the dream, just like the consciousness is seeking the things inside of the dream. And this is the problem. All right. So let's look. Is the I illuminating? How are you illuminating yourself? What are the things that you need to do to illuminating yourself? Is the I light on? Is your light on? How can you turn your light on? Because you can seek unconditional love from today till tomorrow. You can seek all of these gods from today till whenever. And you're still not going to be self-sufficient and illuminate yourself until you turn your lens inwards and start seeking yourself, called the soul, right? So let's look. The self in different expressions, because we have the self, the primal light, all right? We have that the fractal self. We have primal light that is not fractal and fragmented like we are, but our mommy self is in a fractal state, all right? And so our mother self is the primal light mommy. And yes, our mommy self is not self-luminous because she is the giver of light. She is in the blackness stage. So she's in the blackness stage. So when you are like that, you don't illuminate your light like that, because she is the blackness, she's the void, she's a void self. All right. And so she's self-sufficient, but she's not self-luminous. Meaning self-luminous is that you are shining your light like that from the self. So like how you see all the souls, they're shining their light. We can see it up. When we look up, we see those stars, right? So the soul is self-luminous, right? Because it's illuminating. But our mommy self is not self-luminous, but she's the giver of the light, because all of this come from herself, right? She's self-sufficient, and she's also fractal. That's why all of the feminine rise from the mommy self, and all the masculine rise from her masculine self, right? Which is what they call the dark matter, right? She is the neutron self. That our mommy is a neutron self, so they're different energy. And our papa self, that's her masculine, is it's the proton energy, and it's the dark matter. All right. And it's the existence, right? So they exist but in two separate energy. That's why you hear, they see the scientists, they say they cannot escape to go out of here because of the different frequencies of energies, because you have the electrical energy, and then you have the magnetic energy, and then you have the electromagnetic energy, and then you have the other cells in different energy form. Yeah, so you'll just be electrocuted. But you see, and I'm going to give you an experience of what I was saying about the electrical self. All right. So these self, our mommy self, she carries no charge. She's neutral. So, but her light, carries a charge. Her light is the carries a negative charge, and our masculine self carries the positive charge, the protons. And so the void self, because we are in the void, we have a void self that's in the center of our chest that the self dwells in. And this is how the I self can learn about all of itself in all of these forms, because the void is everywhere, right? And so, again, the void self is not self luminous, meaning that they're not projecting their light. They the void self, they is the light obscured, not on the void, the real self, but on its dual self, because each of the selves are making twin selves, and sometimes they have more than one twins. So the twin self to the void self is the dual self, and that self, the light is obscure because it's wearing the dual consciousness. But the self is self-sufficient, right? Not the dual self, just the real self is. And is the self fractal? No, they don't have masculine and feminine separated. It's the masculine and feminine is in the same self, not like we are, where we are just like I am feminine, and then I have my masculine self, Shiva Heru. But the void self, everything, all the selves, aspect of the self is within it, and it's not fractalized. All right. The gods now, the gods, are they self-luminous? No. Their light do not shine. Their light is being obscure. Right? Their light is being obscure. Are they self-sufficient? No. They're not self-sufficient because they're constantly seeking what? Light. They're constantly seeking light. This is why they enslave your soul, and they do all these crazy things that they do, and they are stuck into a time zone of animalistic behavior, drinking bloods and eating flesh, because some are still in that nature. And are they fractal? Yes, they are fractal. And we have Shiva Heru self-luminous, yes. Shiva Shambho self-luminous, yes, because their light shines. So it's one of the more the consciousness. Okay. And then their light being obscured? No, their light is not. Are they fractal? Yes. Shiva Shambho is fractal because it's masculine. Shiva Heru is masculine, and the gods are masculine. No, the goddesses, let's go back. The goddesses, they are not self-luminous because their light is not shining. Their light is also being obscured. So are the human beings. You have some human beings who's being self-luminous because their light, they're awakened and their light is shining. But there's few of them, not a lot. But we want all of the ionized to come awake so that your light can shine. All right. So their light is being obscured. The goddesses and the human beings. Are they self-sufficient? No. Are they fractal? Yes. All right. So this was happening. So all of these aspects is the I self, right? So stop thinking that you exist alone. You're existing in all of these forms. All right. In all of these aspects, the I and I is existing. All right. So the problem we have is this mind, this ego. What does it mean to dissolve the I ego and the I ego false self? Because we have many ones are always attacking me, being fearful when they, when I say that you have to dissolve the ego. All right, remember that the ego is obscuring the self, right? The ego is obscuring the I light. So when I say that you have to dissolve the ego, it has to be pulled off of you, right? You cannot exist with the ego continue to obscure you, right? Remember that the consciousness light is being obscured as a result of the egoic state that emerges, right? So the consciousness is in the sleeping, dreaming state, goes to sleep, and when it goes to sleep, it goes into forgetfulness. And so the consciousness becomes impure, and all of these things start rising into the consciousness deception, start telling lies. The consciousness is not creating things of balance. The consciousness is obscuring the self, lying to the self, being deceiving. All of these things are rising within the consciousness, right? As a result of the light being obscured. So you want to see how important light is, all right? And so we want light to be restored back to the consciousness. Yes, yes, we want the light to be restored back to the consciousness. All right, and that is what we need to happen. So no need for you to have any kind of fear of dissolving your ego. You're just pulling it off of you so that it is not obscuring you. All right, that's what you are about to do. All right, what does it mean to dissolve the I ego and the I ego false self? Right, the I self, the real self, called a spirit, must rise and take precedence over the I, the mind, the ego. Because remember that you're wearing this device, this mind device, and the eyes sleeping, being entranced in the dream. You know, like when you're watching a movie, you ever seen the kids? They're like almost like zombies. You're just into the movie. You don't have no awareness of what's going on. You're just into the movie, right? So this is what is happening. So I want to share my experience when I rise to take precedent over the I mind, right? So this is when I dissolve the ego. This is one of the process. One of the process is that the ego has taken precedence, and so the self, called the spirit, has to rise up and say to this mind, I am in command. Mind, be still. Because what happened to my inquiry and all of these things, I remember I was doing a meditation, and while I was doing this meditation, the I rise, I was laying down, I remember, and the 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 that I had to rise and to confront the ego, right? And so the I was I actually didn't even understand what was happening. So I just felt when the this was when I was in the spirit self. So so the spirit and the soul were not merged together yet. So remember, the soul is the real self, and the spirit is the baby of the soul that is animating the body for the soul, right? And the spirit has to come in awareness that it has to wake up, that is entranced in the dream, and to in alignment with the soul self. And so the I energy just rise up from the body, and it starts infusing the body, with electric energy. And it was like volts of electricity just like fusing through the body, and it was just holding, because I had the awareness with the spirit in the body, but also of the self, the soul, and it's holding and fusing this electric energy, you know from the soul into the body. And it's just like, and the soul is giving its spirit self, its baby self, enough energy that it needs. You know what I'm saying? And the spirit rise up to the mind, to the ego. I'm experiencing all of this happening. The spirit rise up. I spirit self rise up. I am no longer in that spirit self now. I am just in the soul self. But when I was in that spirit self, and so that I rise up and say, Jasmine, I am. See, that was how the spirit self was called. The spirit self was called that, you know. And so, and with the fuse, this fuse of the electricity just fusing through the body, and I was like, whoa, what is happening? What is this? And because we have been programmed into God, I am saying, what is this God? you know but I didn't really understand. I was just, and then after, it was when I started inquiring what happened, what was that, what happened. It was when all of this now became clear to me, so I could understand this experience, that the spirit self, that I had to rise up, to stand up to the ego, to let it know that I am no longer going to be obscure, and had to take claim over the this journey. And so this is a big step, and it takes lots and lots of sitting in stillness, in meditation, focusing on the I soul self, for the I, to liberate the I, spirit self, so it can stand up to the ego and not be afraid, because the ego does not want to be dissolved. And that's why the spirit self had to stand up, to the ego, to let it know that I am now in command. And this was when I started, with those affirmation. I am in command of my mind. I am in command of the command. Mind, be still, be still, be still, right? So you have to stand up to this ego. Don't be afraid, all right? Judgment. Why is the ego so afraid of judgment? See, the ego want everyone to be lost in unconditional love, so no one can look at all the evil and atrocities this ego have done. They say, oh, that look at it with no judgment, but this is not true, because the ego does not want to take responsibility for all its creation, and you must be self-responsible. Everything you are creating, you have to be responsible for what you're creating, to make sure that it is in balance and harmony with all of yourself. While the ego wants to do whatever it wants to do and take no self-responsibility. Ego wants to create chaos without no self-responsibility of balance to the whole creation. Ego is individualistic in its never-ending desires, and it's never satisfied. It's always want this and want this and want this, and never satisfied. Want and want and want and want and want. Get this, want this, want this, want this. Ego can't seem to comprehend that the imagination creations are not real. Ego does not want to lose the power it has over the self. And this is why you have to stand up to this ego and take self-responsibility. Ego does not want to admit that it is not plain fear, because the ego wants for the I and I to ignore the evil and pretend that it is okay. The ego wants for you to accept this horrible existence as being okay, and it is okay to live this way, because it is coming from the ego, and therefore its creation must be loved unconditionally. The ego wants you to do this. The ego don't want you to look at things and be critical, right? The ego does not want to be dissolved, because it has stolen the identity of the I, the real self. And the ego does not want to be discovered as a liar and the greatest deceiver. And so this is why the ego is quoting everybody and encouraging everybody about this unconditional love so that you will not look at the things that the ego is producing and say, this is wrong. Stop it. What you're doing is wrong. And take self responsibility. Ego is not myself, but only an imagination mask and clone that the I is wearing. The ego don't want you to come to this knowing, because once you come to this knowing, then the ego no longer have any power over you. What is the ultimate liberation tool? Many ones are saying this is unconditional love, but this is not true. It's self-knowledge, right? You don't have knowledge of yourself, you do not have your light. You must have your light. You don't know yourself, you don't know who you are, you're trapped, being enslaved inside of a dream into a horrible existence, and your ego is telling you that it is okay to exist as this. Is it okay to be existing in a world where you have numerous ones so in a stupor of alcohol? You see them drug infested, in a bad condition, being in as a drug addict, doing evil, committing crimes, committing sin. Evil ego wants you to be okay with this. How can you be okay with this? How can you be okay with this and say you have no judgment? No, because you're not seeing clearly. Many believe that love is the highest level of truth. In unconditional love, there is no judgment. But this premise is false. The I, the real self, wants to be in harmony inside of this dream, but the I dual nature, the ego, wants to rule under deception and disguise of love, unconditional love. It wants you only to love it unconditionally. The I is here to learn and explore the I creation in duality state. The I and I must judge to see what is working and what isn't working. What works in the creation for balance. There's many things that don't work for balance. But the ego don't want you to look and see this. It's causes a judgment. The I goal is to create with self-awareness and light. Are you creating with self-awareness and light? Then if you see your other selves who are not, then you're gonna say this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. We have to call out ourselves. All is myself and I alone exist. It is I playing all these roles. So if I see another aspect of myself is doing something wrong because I have no self-awareness, then I'm going to call out myself. What you're doing is wrong. Ego creation lacks self-awareness and light. The I, pure self, wants to remain in its pure self-energy while it uses this imagination device. But what? Ego don't want this. The ego wants the I self to be obscure while it create a false and fake self and trick the I so that the I will never know truth. Judging the circumstances allow the I and I to choose creation with self-responsibility and aim for self-sufficiency and equanimity. Don't you want the things that you're creating to be self-sufficient and to be balanced in harmony? Yeah, this is all that I want the creation to be. But ego hijack everything and is just creating chaos and don't want to take self-responsibility for what it creates. So I say it's time to practice discernment. What does it mean if someone is discerning? To be discerning is to be able to tell things apart, separate them, even when they appear to be very similar. People who are discerning are able to make keen observations about things. Can I discern the real from the dream? The self from the ego? What is the real and what is the dream? You have to be asking these questions. Who am I and how do I identify? It is important, right? Am I producing my light? Am I self sufficiency? Am I moving into the direction of self sufficiency? I want to look at the word self responsibility because we have to take self responsibility. Self responsibility is a key ingredient for personal growth and development, leading to increased self confidence and improved relationships and greater success in achieving goals. It is important to distinguish self responsibility from blaming others. Self responsibility means accepting your part in a situation, even if it's challenging. And so, but the ego does not want to accept its role in the situation, right? Even if it's challenging, while blaming others involving deflecting responsibility and avoiding accountability. So, this is the ego. It does not want to take any responsibility, even for the things it creates. All right. So, it always wants to blame others, like it would say, it's your karma. The reason why things are happening, it's your karma. It's because you did something bad in a past life. They tell these stories, right? Self responsibility is a skill that can be developed and strengthened, right, over time through conscious effort and self perfection. Of course, I got all this information from Google, right? Self responsibility means recognizing that you are the primary actor in your life and your choice directly impacts your circumstances, right? Is the ego taking note of this? This includes acknowledging both successes and failures. But the ego is creating lots of crazy things. It is accepting this failure? No. And understanding that you are the one who ultimately decides how to respond to any given situation, right? Being self responsible involves holding yourself accountable for your actions. Is the ego holding itself accountable for its action and decisions? No. It wants you to just give unconditional love to it, and it does not want to take any self responsibility. It wants to do atrocities to others without any self responsibility. You can see that happening with Israel, with all these Arabs, terrorist groups roaming through Africa and other places, right? Because you know all the minerals and all the stuff in Africa, right? And so all of these terrorist groups are there, been for many decades, creating war, instabilization, annihilating ones, right? These egos are doing these things, right? No self responsibility, right? Because they have impunity and immunity. This is what they are claiming. Just like the ego, it has self unconditional love, so you cannot judge it, the ego. No, this is wrong what you are doing. This means accepting responsibility for the outcome, both positive and negative, and learning from them. Ego, are you learning from all the things that you are creating and doing? Okay. Ego, are you learning from all of these things? Now is the ego taking responsibility for the wrong it has done to the I self? By what has the ego done wrong? The ego has stolen the self's identity, all right, created a fake self, spread lies, propagandas, and have done a lot of atrocities, creating a lot of imbalance. Ego wants unconditional love without self responsibility, just like a child in ignorance. All right? So it's time now to dissolve this ego and know truth. Your ego is enormous. Humble yourself. Stop proclaiming imminent domain over the living intelligence in myriads of form. The existence is not your possession for slavery, but it is yourself. And why all the obsession to place man on moon? Why can't you learn to live here in peace as one human family? Why not solve the humanity problems of free life? All live here for free. Everyone have a housing, have free food. Why are we not fighting for community food self-sufficiency and housing? Human beings are so delusional. Time for ignorance to end. Why are we not solving our corrupt government problem, child prostitution, and ritualistic sex slaves and human trafficking? The ego wants you to look at these things and say unconditional love. No, we have to let them know this is wrong. What you are doing is wrong. The ego wants you to be okay living in a corrupt society like this and ignore it. Humans can't live peacefully on Earth, so they are seeking to colonize somewhere else. When will evil and ignorance end? You cannot be here. Every creature here, you try to capture them and enslave them. Can you be a honorable, self-knowing human beings? I am asking. So right now, I want to look at the word curiosity. Are you curious about yourself? Right? Be curious about your real self and not about this dream. So why was this construct created? Why is the I and I here? And I want to ask you, what footprints will you leave behind? What will be written down in the Hall of Records under your name? Because everything is being written down. What will be written under your name? I want you to know that the I want you pure self, I alone exist, had a curiosity. This is the reason that this construct was created. That I had a curiosity. How can I create an imagination? How can I explore my imagination? And how can I create and dissolve an imagination? This is why all of these creation, it is a creation. All right, we are inside of a dome, and each of these dome is a realm. All right, and we have not get the opportunity to explore this realm with all aspect of the I and I self that are here. We only I'm thinking that in the human form, thinking that you come, you see human beings here, you have no idea where you're from, where is your true home, but you believe yourself to be this human being, that you exist here alone, and you are fighting a war with all the existence, the aspect of yourself. This is crazy. Now, have you ever heard of the idiom curiosity kills a cat? Because what does this mean? What does this mean to you? To me, this means that there are, in this duality, there are positive curiosity and there are negative curiosity. Many ones are stuck into the negative curiosity. Many ones, because of destitution in this world, the way the world was designed, that many ones they're curious about. Everyone is saying, oh, fun, 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 let's party, let's take drugs, let's drink alcohol. And so these are negative curiosity. And so here they're smoking, they're drinking, they're doing all of these things, right? Many are they say, okay, everyone have to go back to doing what's it called, the occults, doing rituals and all of these things. Many ones are curious about it, oh, they're curious because they want to see what what evil they can do, what gods and all of these. They're curious about these things. So why are you not curious about your real self? The higher the curiosity of the imagination. We're inside of an imagination. This is a creation. This is a construct. And so it is time for us to be curious about our real self. So let's move from this negative curiosity right now, because in the duality state, right? Let's move to non-duality and be curious about that. Remember that the eye is here animating the game. We're in the game console, this imagination device that immerses the eye inside the game, this life movie, right? These dream characters are the game avatars, right? The I is animating one of these avatar. Are they the real? Is this character the I, the real? This character that you're animating in this body, is it you? Is this human being you? No. The I is just animating in this character. The eye is animating, likewise an avatar inside the game. The eye is just playing a character in the game of life. Who is imagining this? Who needs to stop their imagination? Ask yourself these questions. Who are the I egoic nature characters enslaving and torturing the I inside a creation? Imagine the avatar, right? Inside of this game. Imagine this avatar inside of this game, wanting the game to continue. So it devised a hostile takeover of this virtual reality game. Why can't the I and I get out of the game? The I have been playing this game for a long time. The I have forgotten the I self, wearing this device over the I, forgotten playing this game, immersed in the game. Many ones sitting on their bum. They don't get up to do anything. Everything they need, they want it. Have it for hours and hours. They sit. They go to the bathroom in pampas. They're wearing pampas, sitting playing games, immersed into the virtual reality world. Their whole world now is the virtual reality world. This is the same that we are. I and I have forgotten the I self playing this dream character. Why can't the I get out of the game? Because this device is stuck onto the I, and you can't take it off. The game characters know when you exit the game ends. And so this is the why they are refusing to let the game end. How do the I regain command of the game? Because it has been hijacked and taken over. So right now the I self is now taking over this game, this dream world. Yeah, the I parent self is now taking it over. And will this be dissolving the I egos and all the I ego false selves? Alright? Don't you want to be liberated from this game? Do you know your true home? You've been stuck inside of a game and thinking it is your home. You have forgotten yourself and forgotten your home. It's time to go home. Take off your ego mask and see this world is not real but only a dream. The I is using the imagination. The I is playing a game with the I selves. Remove the ego's mask to attain self-truth and liberation. Remove the ego to restore your light. It is just a movie, y'all. It is a game. It's time to go home. It's time to get ready, anyways, to go home. But first, we have to restore balance here first. We have to restore balance. All right, because remember that all is the I self. And then we can get to explore all the other aspects of the different realms, right? Look how many places to explore. We stuck here and can't go anywhere because of this ego. The ego does not want us to know truth. It must be dissolved. I and I is a visitor here. that I have forgotten the I real home, that I have forgotten the I real self? Do the I belong in some imagination creation, being enslaved and in ignorance of the I real self? I am asking. That I have forgotten the I self playing this dream character. It's time to remember who you are. It's time now to remember. And so, right now, I want to do this exercise with the I. All right, exercise to come to awareness of the invisible self, right? The energy body, right? All right, so you're going to sit in a lotus position, right? Palms up, resting on your lap. That way you can feel the energy. All right, you're going to focus your awareness on the energy around you. Remember that we are in the dark matter, right? We're in dark matter. The I is in the dark matter energy. It is invisible to the eye, but with awareness, the eye can see and feel it. Also, your energy field extends outward from you. You can also be in awareness of your own energy field that is extending from you, right? That is your energetic body, right? Your energetic signature, energetic DNA, right? So inhale light into the I body, right? And then we're going to exhale darkness and ignorance. All right? And then we're going to close our eyes and just connect with your energy. Just connect with yourself, palms up, and see if you can feel the energy moving over your hand, going in a circular motion. Because if you're doing it with me right now, you should feel the energy in the palm of your hands. Do you feel it? And so I want you to say, all is myself and I alone exist. All is myself and I alone exist. It is I playing all these roles. All is myself and I alone exist. It is I playing all these roles. All the existence is myself. And so try to practice this awareness exercise this week so that you can come into awareness that you do not exist here just as this human form, but you exist in many forms. And a majority of yourself is invisible to you in this form. And so you want to get to know yourself. You want to have honor and reverence for all of the I self existing. And your real self is your soul self. So make sure you're connecting to your your soul self. It is primal light, okay? All right, so from that which I rise, to that I return. From that which I rise, to that I return. I am the blackness. I am all. I am the black neutron. All is I. I am stillness. I am the blackness. I am that I am. I am the void. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I alone exist. I alone exist. I alone exist. All is myself. It is I playing all these roles. May all beings know the I self. Thank you for joining I am primal light, prepared for this dream, duality existence in this fractal shattered state as Aset, Mahat, Aten Ra. Thank you for joining thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for wanting to know more. Much honor and much gratitude. I am going to sign out with this song.
No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. Hey, 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 salutation to the neutral self, primal light. Hail, hail. Salutation to our parent self, primal light. Hail, hail. Salutation to I self supreme, primal light. Salutation to the sun. Hail, light in the world for all to see. Holding the balance in duality. Primal light, pure consciousness be. Hail, hail to the self supreme, the neutral self, primal light. One and only unicorn, warrior for the cause, allowing the world just because all is one in myriads of form. Hail, 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 hail. Salutation to the self supreme. Hail, hail to the neutral self, primal light. Hail, hail to the world's heart, Primalite, Mother Supreme, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. All souls are free. All selves are free. Victory, victory, victory. The world is balanced, the world is harmony. Victory, victory. Hail, hail. Salutation to myself supreme, neutral self, primal life. Hail to myself supreme, supreme sun, art and raw, the atom. Hail, hail to the supreme sun. If you close your eyes, the world goes into dark. Open your eyes, awake from the sleep. Awake to stop the dream. Recreate the world, give it a new start. Non-dual world, non-dual beings, non-dual pure consciousness. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme, win the victory. Victory. Recreate the world, give it a new start. Non-dual world, non-dual beings, non-dual pure consciousness. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme, win the victory. The world is balanced, the world is harmony. Victory. I self is balance, I self is harmony. Victory, victory, self unity. All selves are free. Victory, all is I, and it's only I. Victory, victory. Hail, hail to the I, self supreme, not be one true self, unmanifest stillness. Hail, all is I, and I alone exist. All is I exist alone. Victory, 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 victory.
Yes. Thank you for joining I Are Sent with this sad song, Gathering to Seek Truth. I'll see you the next live. Much honor, much gratitude. May the I be victorious. Standing up to the I ego. No fear. This ego must be dissolved. Yes, you must love yourself. You cannot serve two masters, right? The ego is your master. You must now give up this master and only have devotion for the I self. Victory, victory. May the I be victorious. And remember to practice your awareness this week. Thank you so much. I'll see you at the next live.